Hello, everybody. Hopefully, it's actually working. This is my first time using the new Facebook Live, so I might be just off on the starting point. I don't know. We'll see. Melina Palmer here from the Brainy Business, and I am here to talk to you about the new episode of the podcast, which live today. It's episode 95, and it is about why we hate to see ourselves on camera. And one of the main reasons you may have seen pictures that I've put up in my feed today that shows the mirror image of me, one next to the other. And I talk about how in the episode we have familiarity bias. So when you think about anybody else looking at you, they are looking at you head on. And when we look at ourselves, the only way we can really see our own faces is by looking in a mirror. So what we like and what we think looks good and normal ourselves is that mirror image. That's what we're familiar with. And everyone else is used to seeing our opposite, which is normal, what we should look like. And in the episode, I talked about how Zoom has started doing it. It actually defaults to mirror image so that you doing the video are more comfortable. And funny, when I recorded the episode, I was talking about how Facebook Live will often do the flip as well, that it's mirror image, but it looks like they have updated their system and don't now. They don't do that now. So now it's the opposite of what I'm used to seeing, and it feels much comfortable for me than it had in the past. I actually did another call for a webinar I'm doing next week for a company, and they go to webinar, and it had the normal view, which again feels very strange to me to be looking at. But one of the tips to be able to do on video, and I have 7 in the episode, one of them is to just sort of get over it, unfortunately. So knowing that it looks very weird to me, it's different than what I'm used to seeing, and it doesn't feel right, but knowing that it is normal for everybody else. I actually had, as I was working on this today, my husband walked in and I asked him, I had the 2 side-by-side images, and I said, one of these looks right. Which one is normal? Which one is me? And he picked one, which is the opposite of the one that I thought looked right. So it does prove that, and other studies have shown well, that what you think is normal and your best looking self is actually opposite what everyone else would pick. So it's a little bit of a relief, I guess, to be able to know that it's normal that you feel that way, that that's in your brain, and that if you can just sort of get past the brain's initial reaction to saying this is weird, that it can help you to do better. So one of the things that I am doing, that I have committed to, a challenge that I have put forth for myself, and I'm hoping any of you will join. I talk about this in episode 95 of the Brainy Business, right at the end of the podcast episode, is that I am going to go live in some fashion or other every day between now, which is April 10th, and May 15th, which is 5 weeks from now. So every day for 5 weeks for a month, I am going to go live, and it doesn't mean I will be exclusively live on Facebook every day or Insta stories or wherever, but I will be somewhere in lives every single day. I don't guarantee that I will always have my makeup done like I have today, or I will have done my hair because we've, like got kids and all this crazy stuff going on. So we will see how that all works out. But being able to get over that familiarity bias of the mirror image of yourself is to be working on just doing more of seeing yourself on video, which a lot of us are having to do in a lot of virtual meetings these days. I've been using them in my business for the past 3 years. So I'm pretty used to seeing myself on camera. However, I'm used to seeing myself in set up image of myself set up. So that's what I'm used to seeing. And so even now, some of these lives, it feels a little bit awkward and uncomfortable. So I'm going to be live every day, like I said, between now and then. And I would love for you to join. We're all hanging out at home, so we might as well have some sort of interaction with each other. And one of the reasons, the main reason I picked that date, you might say, why May 15th? Why not just weeks or something like that, a straight up month? And it has episode 100 of the Brainy podcast is going to be coming out on the 15th of May, which is very exciting. So I figured that really good day to have be a milestone in there, be motivated. I actually went live every day for a month ish before I launched the podcast back in 2018, almost 2 years ago, which is crazy to think about. And so it felt like a good time to bring that challenge back and to be going live all the time again. I am in the midst of trying to boost all of my social channels. I'm working on getting a book out into the world, which in looking at traditional publishing options, they definitely want lots of social media and all of that. So one of the ways to be increasing social channels is to be increasing the time that I'm there. So I just wanted to know that this is the first day of that. And if you want some help in doing your own lives and being social more, do listen to the new episode of the Brainy Business podcast, number 95, where I talk about familiarity bias and other biases in our brains that keep us from wanting to see ourselves or hear ourselves on camera or recordings and things like that. And like I said, 7 tips to help you to feel better about that and be able to move forward and do video anyway, even though it may be initially feeling kind of awkward or off to your brain. So I do hope to see you on some of these lives in the future. I'm going to be doing all sorts of things, tips about pricing strategy, answering your questions if you show up when doing a live. It looks like now you can actually schedule in Facebook, which is very exciting. And so I'm going to be doing these a lot more. If there are topics you want to hear about, please do post them on the page, the Brainy page, or send me a message and let me know what you might be interested in. And yeah. So thanks for joining me. Great to see you here today. And I hope to see you on one of these 35 or so live videos I'm going to be doing over the next 5 weeks and beyond. So have a wonderful Friday and weekend. Enjoy that episode of the Brainy Business. And there's going to be a link to that in the comments to make it easy for you. And as always, remember to be thoughtful.